Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Premodern Showdown Series 4. We have our decider match. So, what had happened is during the regular season, the Hurricane had postponed one of the matches between Ryan Grodzinski and Bryan Manolakos. And now we are at our final match, and it's going to determine who our last top four player is. So our match between Bryan and Ryan will be played, and if Mano is able to win, then he will make it to the top four. And then actually, if that would bump Brian Cole out. So my graphic had said that he had clinched it, but I guess I didn't calculate for everything. And so, unfortunately for BK and his fans, he would get knocked out, and our top four would be Aaron, Rich Shea, Tom Matelski, and Manolakos. And if Mano ends up losing, then BK will find his spot in the top four. So we will be finding out our last top four for our semifinals, and then eventually we will find our finals for our PSS4 champion. But I'm Michael Hoyp. I'm joined today by Jared Doucette. How's it going, Jared?
It's good. I thought this was the Wisconsin women's volleyball game.
Yes.
But I just kind of, I guess we're here for some magic this morning.
Yeah, it's that's my other passion thing is volleyball. So if you're on my social medias, a lot of times I'm posting when I'm at the game. So I was at a game last night too. So
Nice.
I was
How often do they play?
they usually play like once a weekend, like a home game, but they had back to back last night, which is abnormal, and that was their last home game of the regular season. So
It's the kind of sport that you can play like over, like, you can play 3 days in a row, right? It's not
yeah,
like, football where you need a week off to recover or anything.
yeah. I mean, like definitely if you play multiple, like you can play tournaments, so where you're playing multiple days. I mean, like at that level, like they don't nearly as much. Like they don't usually play multiple matches in one day, but you can have volleyball tournaments where you play a lot of matches. But I mean, you're definitely like sore the next day if you're
So,
jumping around a
okay.
lot.
So
So
sorry to distract you.
yep,
Let's go for the
yep,
magic. I know people are ready to go,
yes,
and these guys are up early this
yeah.
morning. So
All
let's
right. So I
let's
will
get going.
jump over to the bans for these players.
Hmm.
So Ryan Grodzinski has the Tradewind Survival, Enchantress, and Stasis. His Enchantress deck has been banned. Brian Malakis has Esper, Stiflenot, Sly, and Black Red Muse, and his Stiflenot deck has been banned. So Ryan has the choice between Tradewind Survival and Stasis. And then Mano has the choice between two red decks, the mono red aggressive Sly deck, and then the black red more disruptive elements. Is there a deck that you're leaning to for either player's perspective, or do you want to make a prediction, Jared?
It seems to be the tradition is to make a prediction. So this is like a fun match for Ryan. So he's either wins or loses. It doesn't matter, right? But I think he's going to want to play with his bread and butter, the trade with survival deck.
Okay.
And that would be my guess is where he wants to go with this. It's just like his favorite thing. It's like it's his baby, so might as well play with your baby at 8:30 in the morning, I guess.
All right, you making a prediction for Mano then?
For Mano, I think this matters. So I just think Sly's a better deck than the black red deck, and matchups be damned. I think that's probably fine against both, honestly. And I think if Mano thinks that Ryan just wants to have fun with his favorite deck, then he should probably just play the red spells against Birds of Paradise. I hear bolting the bird is a good strategy, and probably just be just fine. And you don't care as much about the lockdown potential of either deck, because you could just hold cards against both of them and just like go for the big burn at the end. So let's see what happens.
All right. So I hope I'm getting these right, because I know these players had decided this like months ago, like when it was actually their scheduled match. So let's jump down. First, Ryan has his Tradewind Survival deck. So, yep. So if you're not familiar with this archetype, which it isn't that often played in pre-modern, it revolves around survival of the fittest. But instead of like doing really broken things like setting up a combo with Volrash Shapeshifter and Phyrexian Devourer and Triskelion, it plays like a more mid-range game. And the mid-range element it has is with Tradewind Rider. So the 4-mana 1/4 that taps two other creatures and you can bounce a permanent. And that combined with a number of creatures, and then like Kyrian Ranger, you can get multiple bounces. But it's just a a 4 or 5 color mid-rangey strategy. So it doesn't really have any like glaring weakness. It kind of has a toolbox to deal with anything. But it's something that Ryan has really enjoyed. Likes the gameplay, and you can find little angles that maybe aren't apparent to the average player, and take advantage of situations that maybe people don't think of. Do you want to add anything about this deck?
Nope, it's a grinder. It's a mid-range grinder, and it's got some weird kind of just a lot of like value cards, and um, it's not it's a strategy that saw to play back in the day, but it's a mid-range grinder and
Mhm.
with survival instead of a combo win, so it'll be interesting.
Yep. And so I had Mano marked down for his black red Muse deck. So both players are
Okay,
playing kind of their pet decks.
it sounds good.
Yep. So this one, it is still a red deck, but it is a much more disruptive element. The black cards have a lot of discard effects, and so you combine those elements, and then the way that it clocks a lot of the times is, I mean, Lavaboard Muse is a card that usually doesn't see play in a lot of different archetypes. So this 4 mana 3/3, and then if they have uh, 2 or less cards in their hand, and they take 3 damage. It's
Hmm.
similar to the rack, but it like always deals. It's either on or off, where the rack is like kind of scales. And then yeah, it's a lot of black discard spells. I like the card Cabal Interrogator. So it's a 2 mana 1/1 that you can put mana in, and then make them discard a card of, like, they have to reveal cards if you pay more mana.
Yeah.
So that one's a really fun one, but it'll be interesting. I guess the one like glaring thing is, like, when you play with black red, like, it's difficult to deal with an enchantment once it has resolved. So if a
Correct.
card like Survival of the Fittest does come down, then Brian's kind of at the mercy of what Ryan is able to do. So we'll see if that comes
He's
into play. But
he's got 3 dystopias in the sideboard, but also Ryan has a bunch of little green creatures that can be
mhm,
sacrificed instead. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
all
But
right,
let's get to the games.
yep. I'll jump down the match, and we will let the players know they can start, and we'll get things going.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Um,
so we
it
got.
looks, yep, it looks like Ryan has the 7 card hand while Mano's just down to 6.
Yeah, we see the happy
Um,
face out of Ryan. I think the
yep,
last time we saw it, it was a smaller face, because it was only 5 cards, and it was
yeah,
a frowny face. So
yeah, not much you can do. Oh, there's the Chaco Pup. I mean, I'm a mock fanatic,
okay,
so maybe
I think
I
then
think
I probably had it wrong.
yeah. Okay, we're welcome to Red Deck Sly.
Okay,
Okay, so I'm right. I'm 2 for 2.
all right.
Take that, Flint. 100% guaranteed winners of PSS guessings. That bird is not going to live long. That's going to die. But you might as well attack with it, right? Attack with the fanatic first,
Yeah,
and then you can ping right afterwards. Unless he wants to block with bird, but that seems like even worse. But this is where, like, the people say mock fanatics don't not go without damage on the stack. This card is still doing work.
yeah. It still serves its role that it's able to interact with the cheap
Mhm.
spells. So
Yep. All right. The second turn is, if you get the second mana going with the red deck, I think it's going to be, or the third mana is really the most important, but just to be able to, we have full access to everything at that point. But I also like, making sure he curves his little bit is going to be important.
yeah, one thing with
But
the Birds of Paradise is Ryan does have a lot of different colors of mana, and the
mhm.
Birds of Paradise does do a good amount of heavy lifting to cast sometimes like cards that aren't as pivotal for a strategy. But in this matchup, like a card like out of the sideboard, Radiance Dragoons is a lot harder to cast if a Birds of Paradise doesn't stay in play. So.
Yep. Kill that. And another creature. Hopefully a pup or lavamancer would probably really oh,
How do you feel about a Phyrexian Furnace?
sure. All
So,
right. Let's draw a card. I don't know.
so
But it does have main deck ability to screw people up.
yeah, I think the idea of this is, in the PSS you have a little bit more knowledge of what you're playing against, and one ofs have some viability that they might in a normal match. And I think the idea was against the strategy of the replenish combo, which we predicted that Mike Flores would and did bring. That I think this gives Mano an out against that deck in his initial game one, and doesn't give him that big of an opportunity cost. That, like, if he draws it in this matchup, it's not the worst thing. And actually, I
Oh,
mean, in
get
this,
rid of Squee.
I would say, yeah, actually, this it has some utility. So
Yeah, that's enough. A lot of these cards, you need to get rid. That's not how that works, man.
what?
Oh, this is turn 3. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I thought he didn't sacrifice the land, but you could see that he didn't sacrifice the foothills because he definitely wants that third land, and if he doesn't need to use it, then he wants to. It's a slim, percentage chance, but getting extra 2% to draw an extra mountain would be
yeah,
more desirable.
probably looking to cast ball lightnings, but
Hmm.
Ryan
Yeah,
does
this.
have Wall of Roots, so that's one of the cards. Like, it's always an interesting choice when you play against the red deck and you have your mana source and you kind of need it, but you like, I kind of rather would gain 5 life against this deck. So sometimes
Yeah,
that's something you need to do with the Wall of Roots.
yeah. So the survival's down. This could be tough for Mano to interact with, and he's not putting a whole lot of pressure with those walls, and that pup is not looking very good. So he needs a lot of reach in the hand, and he really needs to hit that third land drop, which I'm sure is ball lightnings and hopefully sulfur vortexes.
Yeah, and with the Wall of Roots, he has access to a lot of activations of the survival because he can do it both on his turn and then on Mano's turn. Though we had kind of talked about that Ryan's options, they're not like, it's not like a big combo he goes for. He just kind of like value over time. So might just see putting anger or something in the graveyard squee and then getting cards like Trade Wind Rider, or building up a board that way. So
So the Mano kind of has to always have one mana available at this point to be able to get rid of Squee. Because once like that value engine with Squee starts to happen, I think you kind of like are in trouble with as the red deck right now. So he almost has to play basically play around days kind of thing where whenever he casts a spell, he should always try to have one mana left open so
sure.
that he could always use like grab that Squee. Now, right now, he's done a good job of whittling down the graveyard as it is, and the graveyard's not very big, so maybe, but he can just like snag it. But he's going to want to be able to target that Squee with the furnace. Like that's why it's here right now. That's why this card is like in the deck, is basically just to deal with that interaction. So we'll see. Ooh, I got my early morning phlegm I got to get rid of.
Yeah, that's just what everyone tuned in to hear.
Hmm. Lots of waters. We got a little pause in the action here for something. Not totally sure what's going on.
Might be checking a deck list,
Sure.
or just like a refresher of what a player has available, maybe.
When I did the PSS, I just printed them out. I
Print
just
them
had
out.
them so they were much easier to get than like switching screens or whatever when you're doing it.
Yeah, I
So,
think. I mean,
so
the
it's
people with a dual
annoying.
monitor setup, I think a lot of times just have it on their second one. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
sure.
do like just the, also like printing it out. Kind of, it. It's kind of like writing it down in a sense that like you probably remember it better than most people because you've made an effort, and so you've probably reviewed them a little bit.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
so,
I print out a lot of things nowadays. I'm in like grad school. I just still I need to they send like digital copies of books or whatever, and I just like yeah I need to like feel something.
yeah,
Otherwise, like I just can't stare at a screen for 3 hours while I'm trying to read. It's
there,
just
there were certain
makes
things
my
like
brain's gonna melt.
me reading contracts or whatnot. Like it was difficult to read like the PDFs, and now I'm just used to it in a full
Yeah.
digital world now. All right,
Do you put it on
Jackal.
an iPad or something?
What?
Do you put them on an iPad or something, or just right on
No,
your computer
just
screen?
one of my
Oh,
monitors. So Jackal
yeah.
Pup attacks, and none of the walls had blocked. That's
I,
interesting.
I, you know, he doesn't want to lose the source, the mana source. Clearly, he wants to, protect those because he's worried about like the bolt finishing it off or a shock or something.
Yeah,
Um,
he must. I guess he must need access to all 5 mana because I feel like you could get rid of one of them. So we were talking about the Phyrexian furnace, and here
oh, the
Rise
orangutan.
Octavia Orangutan is the first choice. So
All
I
right,
guess the
that's the
furnace
counterplay.
has done a lot more in terms of it's more disruptive to Ryan's game plan than maybe I would have thought. More of a thorn in his side, but
Yeah, squeeze the value engine. It's a howling mine basically. You know, for 1 green mana every turn. Well, tap it, and do it. Might as well get rid of both cards. What's the bottom one? Oh yeah, he does. Okay. No, he just targets the one. I guess just land, whatever. But draws a card. Hopefully, it's another burn spell, and he could start rumbling, through the sky or through the reach. But to note is that Ryan doesn't have any other colors other than green,
Hmm.
which for survival you're probably fine with. He must have a Granger or something.
He does have a Yavimaya Granger to get other sources. He also just could go for a card like Deranged Hermit or Masticore. I think are his threats that he could bigger threats
Yeah,
that he could cast. So
yeah, both
uh,
good options right now. Drain Sherman's just gonna like give him a nice wide board, and you can just start doing that. Yeah, like Ball Lightning looks pretty crappy right now. It just doesn't get in for two. Actually probably soak it all up and just lose one Wall of Roots, right?
mhm.
So um, he really wants to. What is he at? 15.
Yeah.
It's a long way to go for the red deck, and 5 cards in hand. It's not impossible, but he needs to be able to literally, like Sulfuric Vortex now would be one of his best ones, right? Yeah, there were repeatable sorts of damage that
Repeatable source, and the one thing that like Ryan's deck isn't as good at um, applying pressure really quick.
hmm
He needs a turn or two more than most survival decks to kind of turn the game around,
Yeah,
which could really benefit Mano in terms of extra draw steps to find burn spells or just deploy them. Looks like we do have a Ball Lightning, so this one's gonna come in. So, are you interested in like double blocking? Is this Uktabi Orangutan gonna soak up some extra points, or are you just gonna block with a wall? I definitely am interested in blocking. I feel like unless Ryan has plans for the all 5 mana, I think I would be sending at least a wall in front of this.
a wall and the orangutan soaks up all 6, and then you have the potential to lose the wall to, well, you're going to lose the wall no matter what. So do you double block with the walls and you lose another wall to a burn spell? So that's not great. You need your walls. Or do you just take 6 and go to 9? Like it's 9. He's got 3 cards left. That kind of gets scary with like Fire Blast, Bolt kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're double blocking here,
Okay.
just to soak it up
Nope. It
and
looks like
losing
just one
just
wall.
the one. Okay, that's also fine.
So Ryan also does have the option to. Okay, so did he take two? I think he used.
Yeah,
Oh
he
no,
took 2.
it was a 4 power or 4 toughness. Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah, so he didn't use the survival, which is interesting because he wanted to protect the life total. So he felt being at 13 was more important than being at 12.
Yeah, he did use the one that stayed around, but yeah, he did
He's the
have
one that
that
stayed around.
option of like, do I want to take an extra point to use another activation on the wall?
Now here's where if you're Mano and you do have a bolt in your hand, are you not bolting the Wall of Roots, or is it just because it's in the way? It still blocks Jackal Pup, and it makes it difficult to
I think it depends if you
kind of.
think you're ever getting through for damage. If you have more creatures, like more jackal pups or whatnot, then I think that's reasonable. Otherwise, I think I mean, and you have to think that the stream of creatures is going to come through thanks to survival and squee.
Yeah, I'm sure that he wants Ryan wants to keep his creatures around because now that he just grabbed Granger, he's probably gonna put a mountain on the board in order to like get anger going, and he um got rid of one trade win, but he can always find another very quickly. So, it, excuse me, I think he's gonna want to keep his creatures around and start locking you down. Um, so I would probably try to get rid of the creatures if I could at this point.
I was just thinking when you're talking, I was thinking that I think you have to just save it and just hope that you have a lethal amount of burn. I mean, because it depends on how many like burn spells you have in your hand, but I
hmm
think there's going to be too many creatures in play from Ryan's side that you're going to have a consistent clock with creatures.
Fair enough. Yeah, and the pup is. Yeah, okay, I can see that too. And he is now that his one piece of card advantage, meaning the one Phyrexian Furnace, that actually says draw a card in his deck, is gone. He's got to find another way to, I guess, win the game. And 13 points of life points is hard to reach with only 3 cards.
He does have 4 mountains, so the option for double fire blast is on the table. So
That is an option. He needs double Fire Blast, and Bolt right now is only good for
11.
11. So Curse Scroll would be a great draw right now, honestly. I would love to be in the Curse Scroll territory.
The one awkward thing with the curse scroll is I don't know exactly how many cards. Oh, he's got 3. That's I think what the die is
Yes,
on
the
the table.
dice.
So it wouldn't necessarily, unless you're willing to like fire off certain spells, which maybe he is, but it might not be
Yeah,
a guaranteed source of damage. But oh, we got the Octavia Orangutan coming in.
yeah, rumbling
I
in.
mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, he's got
Hmm.
enough blockers, and you'd be happy to block with a Yavimaya Granger.
Absolutely, you don't want to pay that echo anyway.
My friend was playing a deck similar to this, and whenever I had seen him playing, he always had Yavimaya Granger in play. I'm like, or he was like paying the echo. I'm like, you're only paying the echo if you're winning by a ton, or if you're losing, or like if
Yeah.
your draw's really poor. He's like, yeah, it was more the latter, that he just didn't have anything else to do, and he's just, I'll keep this 2/2 around.
So one of the things I did with my Premodern cube is that I reduced the echoes on all those creatures, and they've just become a lot better, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Shock, reduce the mana cost, things get better. But like, they're not like unfair when you just reduce the mana cost. Like, if Ranger's echo was just like 1 green, then it's just a bear, and that's good, obviously. But I don't think it's anything broken.
Well, I'm trying to
You know,
think if this effect, like at this point when this was printed in Urza's Legacy, like I don't even know if this was on a creature prior to this.
I
Like
that it ramped.
there
Well,
was
there was Wood Elves that
Wood
put it in your
Elves,
hand.
and that no Wood Elves only got a forest, but it put it into play untapped. Um,
So then, yeah, that was 3 mana for a 1/1,
yeah, but this one got
right?
any
Right.
basic, so like I don't know if that type of effect had existed. So like I think when you're developing a new thing, you miss on like how powerful it is. I don't know, but
But they had built like the Okami orangutans beforehand, and like not the assassin, what's it called? The black creature,
uh,
2 black that terrorism
Necrotal,
comes into Necrotal.
yeah.
Yeah, like they had those kind of things that had good comes to play triggers,
Well, the
and those look neat,
difference between Bone Shredder is it costs one less than Necrotal, so I think that's
right?
the idea. But
And it flies.
all right, Anger is in
I
the
don't know.
graveyard, and there is a mountain in play, so
Yeah,
all
this is about to
of
get wild.
yeah, all of Ryan's creatures have haste.
Hmm. Yeah, so I'm wondering if we're gonna start to see the lockdown happen. But Mano can survive on only he's got 5 lands now. He's playing those out probably to like delay the lockdown of the trade win. When that gets going and starts bouncing, permanents every turn, and eventually
Sure.
you just have like just one. You have to play a land to bring it back, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if Ryan's even going to go for that plan. I think I would just go for Deranged Hermit. I guess the problem is like
Wins faster for sure.
yeah, but Mano might like have a burn spell for the actual Hermit, and then it's only 4/1/1s, but still, I don't know.
I would take, like you said, I'd probably take that. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, here's trade win.
Okay.
Yep. So no ball lightning's getting in anymore. It doesn't have an untapper like Query Ranger, so this isn't totally insane, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean this type of board, like I feel like Mano's plan has been burn spells for a while, so like the Trade Wind
Yeah.
Rider, I'm not too excited from Ryan's perspective. I mean it's a nice one to have, but I think I'm looking for a way to try and apply pressure to Mano.
Yep. But I think you say pass the turn now, and oh, ooh, there's double fire blast, and incinerate. Oh, there we go. That's why they would do a 14.
All right, so it's 4+4 is 8, plus 3+3 is 6 for 14. So
Got there.
I mean, we kind of put Mano on a weaker
Burn
hand,
spells.
but yeah.
I also thought he only had 3 cards with that die, so that's one way to do it.
Well, he might have. I don't know if he untapped and drew a card, but yeah. But I guess he had 4. Yeah. Yeah.
There
Well,
we go.
the burn plan. It came to fruition. That yeah. I guess I don't. I mean, from body language, I kind of read Mano having a weaker hand. So I don't. I was not. I mean, like we talked about it, but like I didn't actually expect it. I thought Ryan was just gonna kind of clean up, but
Yeah.
no. Sly takes down.
That 2 damage. That 2 damage he took from that ball lightning instead of double blocking was, I guess, what mattered. Like that put him 13 instead of 15, and like that was the reach he had. Now, I mean, with that much burn in his hand, like he just always is gonna have a chance to draw another one. So, and he wasn't gonna, like you said, Ryan wasn't gonna win that quickly. So had turns to draw a third or a fifth burn spell in that case. But man, that was a way to do it.
Yeah. All right. So I got the Trade Wind Survival deck. The sideboard has a lot of one-of creatures because of survival. There is a Xantid Swarm, a Spore Frog, a Mesmeric Fiend, Withered Wretch, 3 Naturalize, a Gorilla Shaman, another Uktabi Orangutan, a Caller of the Claw, Dodecapod, Flametongue Kavu, 2 Radiance Dragoons, and a Genesis.
Well, Radiance Dragoons is a snap in,
Yes.
snap that one. And maybe a Tabi for Curse Scrolls, but I don't think you need a second necessarily.
Yeah.
Genesis, I can see Genesis. Genesis could start looping Radiance Dragoons if you get to that point, and then it's just really game over.
Yeah. I can see Flametongue Kavu as well.
FTK, sure.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, hitting a Jackal Pup is also, like, awesome when that happens, but, I mean, I guess all the other creatures that stick around are pretty small, but I don't think he does have a Goblin Sharpshooter. That was the other card that is a creature to get rid of stuff. Cards.
Then I want that instead. I think I want that instead of FTK. Just 1 minute, and you can get the haste going, so it just takes it over.
I do remember Ryan has played against Sly earlier in this season, and he did have Sharpshooter in a post-board match, and he got 3 creatures with it. It was like 2 Lava Mancers and a Mog Fanatic, so it was pretty good.
Sharpshooter with haste is like one of the best feelings in the world. Yeah. Having played it with like goblins, it's just like, oh my god, it just was just shoot the whole board, and it can be some some extra points of reach. If you got the Skirk Prospector going, you can shoot for like 8 or 9. Like, you just, depending on how big your board is, like, it's just so awesome.
Yeah, some of the cards that I think would come out, like, so Gilded Trach is a one of in the main. I think you don't really have any targets that are good, and giving them a 3/3 flyer is pretty actively bad. And then the Monk Idealist, that's the one that returns an enchantment from the graveyard to your hand. That one's in the main. I think that one can come out because red is not going to be destroying the survivals.
No, survival's sticking around.
Yeah. So those, I think, are 2 of the easy cuts. Beyond that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what directions you take, but
well, I mean,
Mana War maybe, I don't know, but
which one's the one that destroys an enchantment? The Realist?
Yes, that is also in the main, but that has a lot more utility because
you gotta
of
kill Sulfuric Vortex.
Yeah.
All right. Then I think that's about it. Mano's bringing in, I'm sure, just I would like to see Pop maybe. I don't know. He's got a lot of basics. Pyrokinesis for sure. And Vortex. I would probably bring in the other Vortexes.
Okay.
And even potentially some Tormod scripts. But also you just saw how well that just worked. So
yeah, I mean, like, I don't feel like you can bring in that many cards. Oh, I guess maybe you take out Jackal Pup, at least on the draw. I can see keeping it in on the play, but
actually, maybe you take out Process of Progress. I'm looking at
I don't like
Ryan's list. I don't think it's very good against him.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up Ryan's list real quick. So there's 4 Yavimaya Coast, a Gaia's Cradle, like 2 City of Brass, and an Undiscovered Paradise.
Not good enough.
And so I think Ryan has built his mana base to be much better against, like, not take as many damage from his lands, and to be more resilient to a card like Price of Progress and Waste.
Yeah, so I think the 3 pops are probably the first ones out. And then, so that's 3 spots you're bringing in. You definitely bring in 2 Pyrokinesis and maybe another Vortex. Flaring Pain have anything? No, there's no like Cop Red. So could be Tormod's Crypt if you're really worried about Squee, but I don't think it's not a combo deck, right? So it's not going to beat you quickly. So maybe it's not the time for Crypt. You just want to stay aggressive. Yeah, I think you bring in 2 Pyrokinesis and maybe a 3rd Vortex, and that's probably all I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe cut a shock for the 4th Vortex, just because just slightly better and repeatable. And turns off the Dragoons, which is going to be, important.
A key card in this post-board matchup. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I think the last time we saw Sly, I don't feel like they had as many tools to fight this matchup. Like, I feel like the Pyrokinesis is a card I'm, like, pretty excited about. You can get like some really interesting plays there.
Definitely.
But the Radiance Dragoons are just a haymaker. If you are able to gain 5 life, then the 2/5 body is just huge.
Huge, yeah, I agree.
All right, so I think if Ryan, we also didn't mention in the earlier game, chat was talking about him potentially getting a Spike Feeder. That is his main deck way of gaining life. And
yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know if that would have changed how that last game played out, but just gaining 4 life with a spike feeder also could be valuable.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan definitely wish he had it last game. I mean, he could have. Looks like he's mulliganing. Um, but when he got, instead of getting the Granger, I guess he could have gotten it then.
Mhm.
And just to have it down, I guess that would make me feel more comfortable. Just to always to be able to say, like, game life against the red deck is always in a pinch. Like, they're never going to be able to play around it unless you put it all in the stack for some reason.
Yeah, Jeff is commenting in chat that it's tough for Ryan to cast the Dragoons without Birds of Paradise in play, and that is an access that Bryan will be able to disrupt, like be able to bolt the bird. I think I mean, he might just have to kind of get anger, have a mountain, and get a birds and like cast it that way. Like, so a little bit of work, but
It,
maybe
it, it's a 2-card, 5-mana card instead of just a 1-mana,
yeah,
4-mana card.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right because he, if Ryan has a turn 1 bird, like, he's gonna play it, but like he has to, in that mid game, he's got to think about how quickly he can pull that off. But that Mano doesn't give him a lot of time. Like, if he has some good pressure going, like, trying to set that up while not interacting with the board at all is just really tough. I mean, Ryan's looking for Wall of Roots. Like, that's Wall of Roots and Survival are the ways that he probably feels like he win this game, because he
Mm-hmm.
puts a big blocker in the way, and also can start activating Survival as soon as possible. Or he's down to 5. And if Mano kept all 7, then this is trouble.
Yeah, the potency of Sly, especially with the 7-card hand against anything that's kind of clunky, can be very punishing.
Absolutely. Let them know we're good to go.
Yep.
I think that might be waiting.
Yep. Just let him know. Yep. And we do have a turn on Birds of Paradise. It is off a Yavimaya coast. That it would be
Oops.
the most notable thing. So Ryan already dealing damage to himself, and Bolt the Bird has happened.
Yep.
And now Ryan's left with a painful source of green and blue mana.
Yeah, and Mano's just flexing with his beta signed bolts there too, just to make it even worse.
All right, I mean, a second Birds and a Gaia's Cradle at least is a hopeful thing for Ryan, that he certainly got, if this board state stays, like, his mana is pretty decent. He's got a pain free way of green. Nope. Bolt's coming down again. So
makes that cradle even worse.
yeah.
Ooh, Mano only has 1 land though.
I mean, if Ryan doesn't close out the game, that's almost like a bad thing, because you know that Mano's hand is full of spells.
Yeah,
And
just
as soon as he starts drawing land, then you just know that they're just going to become like unloaded on your face.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, right. Attacking.
Well, it probably just means he's planning on using his mana this turn.
Yep. Chris Scroll's not what you want to see. I don't know.
Oh. I was
When
saying,
you're only at stuck at 1 land, but I guess it's out of the hand now.
Ryan did find a forest too, so he has
Yeah, he's feeling good about that.
a pain. Oh, ooh, a mana war. Okay,
Nice.
that one I wasn't expecting to stay in, but
I would love to see Mano's hand right now. I'm sure every time he doesn't draw a land, he's just like losing it. I mean, he's still got 6 cards or whatever in his hand, so like you said, it's full of gas. But being able to double spell is going to be very important. And as we saw how he won the last game, is quadruple spelling all in 1 turn.
yeah, I guess it depends on how many of those cards are like burn spells as compared to like 3-drop ball lightnings and sulfuric vortexes.
Vortex, yeah.
Because it's a lot easier to throw the 1 mana or maybe 2 mana burn spells as compared to casting the 3 mana ones.
Okay, well, here's a way to close out the game quickly.
Deranged Tournament. All right, so this also with Gaia's Cradle, if a Survival was to follow this up. There's a lot of mana there, so
That's when you feel like you're the most powerful being in the world. When you have like eight creatures and survival and Gaia's Cradle going, it's just like, what do I even do?
yeah.
It just like, I have so many options right now. It's just like feel invincible.
We've got Antonino DeRosa stepping in as the squirrel tokens.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, the pro player card. That's one of Ryan's friends. I think they live
Nice.
in the vicinity of each other. And I
Nice.
think like when they were younger, they used to play at GPs and stuff. So
That's cool. All right, Seal of Fire. I like Seal of Fire. I think it's better than Shock. I'm just gonna say it.
I I was
I
always on
understand.
that idea that just I also play first four Curse Scroll in my decks, and so I think
Yeah.
that's kind of what makes me lean towards that, and just the ability to use your mana early that you don't have to hold up one mana for shock.
It combines well with Curse Scroll, and it says right. It lets you to be proactive as opposed to reactive with Shock or whatever, right? Like that Seal of Fire is almost always going to do its damage unless someone stifles it. It's always doing damage somewhere, and I just like to be efficient with that, especially with the Curse Scroll, just getting it out of your hand. I think we're still in the upkeep. Are we paying Echo?
Looks like
Yeah,
it. Yep, the guy's
looks like
cradle
we're
does a
paying
good
Echo.
job of paying
Yeah,
echo. So
might as well, right?
I mean, it makes him use the seal of fire. So
It does. Yeah, the 2/2 scrolls are a lot more scary than 1/1 scrolls. So you're going to trade basically one activation of Gaia's Cradle for a Seal of Fire, which seems fine. And then get it for 4.
oh for 5. Wait, maybe I had them. Wasn't he? No 6. Yeah, even because the mana
Right
war.
there.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, survival's in play, but I honestly think he's kind of in a good spot anyway. He's got good pressure going, and Minnows screwed on his lands.
What is?
It just like
I'm just trying to think. What's the line here from Ryan with survival? So you can. He's discarding Bone Shredder. What is the first card you get? I mean,
always. Do you not get Squee first? I mean, I could. You probably need to move a little faster. So what would increase his clock the most? Um,
well, I
y- y-
I was thinking about like Genesis, but that's pretty slow. Like getting back the deranged tournament. So okay, he's anger,
Anger,
discarding that. He could get a Granger.
get Granger, and then you can start
And then you kind of
birds
you
and
have the mountain and you have the guy's cradle and you can kind of, and when I say go nuts, I guess I don't know what the typical line of like when you're in control of like with elves you can get deranged hermit and just attack, or you could get like Kamal or something, and like I feel like Ryan's deck doesn't do as good of a job of kind of just use taking advantage of a board state and just really turning things around. So I'm not
hmm
sure what his line is of how he applies the most pressure in the shortest amount of time.
My guess is Brian Mano at the beginning of this game felt like he was going to be heavily favored, but he has the fact that he has not drawn a second source or a third source is just devastating because I think it was a fine keep. Lava Mancer, probably Steel of Fire and 2 bolts,
Bolts,
and
yep.
yeah, like he figured he would have drawn something, but I've always been proponent of playing a lot. I know like Aaron with his Silas plays like 19 lands, but
Hmm.
you really got to hit your 3 drops. And I know the baubles like thin it and make it move a little faster, but I think it's 20 or 21 lands in these red decks. It's because hitting 3 is so important. Now I get flooding is also bad, so you kind of have to be a little risky. But when this happens, you're just like, I should have won this game if I had just drawn lands, which is the unfortunate variance of Magic. But it's also one of the it's a feature and a bug at the
Yeah.
same time.
All right. So Ryan's hand currently has a squee and a
Yeah,
Yava
great.
Migranger that we know about
Yep.
thanks to survival, and the anger is in the graveyard. So
Yep.
here's the situation. So 3 mana is going to put the Granger in play.
Mm-hmm.
That can get a mountain, and so now
Mm-hmm.
his creatures will have haste. And the Gaia's Cradle will tap for
6.
6.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you could maybe I mean, you could get Masticore, but you don't have any other cards. It would just stay in play with the Squee. But if you, I'm
Why
just
not just get Spike Beater just to be comfortable?
well, I'm trying to think if you had Masticore here 6. Oh, you'd put him to 1, I think, because the Masticore you'd be able to
Shoot the Lava Mancer,
shoot
then
the Lava
attack
Mancer and attack. So
for 10.
okay.
Yeah, I mean this is
Oh,
done for. Oh, okay.
I guess
Yeah,
that
that's
would
land
keep
over and
that
over.
would keep Mano at 1 mana, and he's not gonna have anything. So
Yeah, yeah, he's not doing anything after that.
all right, well, yeah, I mean the biggest difference just there was uh, Mano staying on 1 mana. I mean,
Yeah,
so I
I
still
just
had like a game like I mean of it. I think um,
yeah,
he
he's shuffling those cards like he's that was an angry shuffle. That was like God damn, like, why didn't I get any lands? Like just like this is like how I ran it, wrote this one up, but um, we've all been there. You're
yeah,
just like
and I mean
there's nothing I did wrong. It just the deck didn't perform.
I was thinking that the mana issues were going to come from Ryan when he led with a Yavimaya Coast. So
Yeah,
his first 2 birds got bolted, so and
yeah.
the guy is critical. So I just thought Ryan might be the one not casting any spells. So
I'm dying to talk to Mano afterwards about that hand because I'm sure it was Lava Mancer, 2 bolts. Probably not the seal because he probably would have sealed instead of bolted the birds, just obviously for efficiency. But um, I'm sure then it was probably. I bet you there was a pup or something in there, maybe the curse scroll, like and it just didn't pan out. And like you said, probably ball lightnings and self over fortresses that are just rotting there.
Lemke in the chat says that Mano's draw was Lemke-ish at best.
But he got what did we go to like turn 6 or 7 at least, and just didn't see a single one.
Yep.
It was a bummer.
So we're going to game 3.
Yep.
Sly will be on the play. Ryan
Yeah.
does have access to these Radiant Dragoons in his deck. Which deck do you think you like better? Like if you had to pick one of these spots, would you? I mean,
I got to take Mano on the
I
play.
say, I know you like a good red deck anyway, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the power of Sly is pretty powerful. But yeah, but like I'm trying to think of the last time Ryan gained a lot of life with the Dragoons, and I think he still fell short against the Sly deck. So yeah, I think if both players are keeping 7, I don't know. I mean, I guess the ceiling of Ryan's deck is probably higher in terms of a power level, but
But
Brian's
that's it.
Brian's deck is
That's it.
much more
That last
consistent.
that last game, Ryan was also down to 5. So like Mano just like that was a very limp-ish draw at best, like Adam said. But like man, he had to be feeling like I'm at 7 cards. I have probably my one. I just need mountain number 2 and number 3. Then this is really over. And just he had all the advantages, bolting the birds, like it's disrupting the game plan, and then just couldn't do anything. That he's got to be very frustrated by that. Whereas Ryan Grodzinski, drew pretty damn well.
Mhm.
All right. Oh, I just got a weekly report that my screen time is up 18% last week, so I guess I got to work on that.
I have one of those that like there's times it'd be like your screen time is up like 3 minutes more than yesterday, and it's like got this like big like exasperated frowny face. I'm like, do they not like program it that that's the exact same amount of time? Like,
Yeah. I'm wondering if this is across all my Apple devices, which makes sense. But when you see the average, I'm like 4 hours and 49 minutes. Oh my god! But like,
well,
I also I mean, I have an Apple computer, I have an Apple, iPad, and all that stuff. So I guess it is a lot.
there are times like I'll use it like if I'm playing like a YouTube video or something in the background when I'm at work. So it's kind of like there are times
Yeah.
where it's like you used it 10 hours today. I'm like, well, yeah that's
Yeah. Kind of.
all right.
This is the world we live in.
Mano's going to start with a fetch land and then a Mog Fanatic.
I'm sure we prefer a pup, but this is still another good option.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see. Oh, we did see a pup last game, right? Or no?
Yes.
Did we?
And the game before. Yeah, we've seen pup. Oh no, we didn't see one last game. We saw game 1.
So it's possible the pups are boarded out, but
I wouldn't think so.
I mean,
On the play,
on the play, I
on
like
the
it.
play,
On the play, I like it a lot more. But
yeah, I would probably leave the pups in just because when they turn one there, it's just so good.
Sounds like other people
Right.
are getting their push notifications about their screen time. So
At 9:18 a.m. Okay, I guess that's when they do it. What are we thinking about now?
not sure. As
Let's,
Ryan folds his hand patiently.
yes.
Oh, were they waiting? Yeah, you're good to go.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think.
I didn't realize. Okay, that was us apparently. All right.
Oh yeah.
All right, both at 19, both fetching down. Well, so if you have bolt, do you bolt this bird, or do you just
I
or you
don't think
just
so. I
fanatic
think
it?
there's just too many like creatures in Ryan's deck that I don't think that Monk Fanatic would get in 3 times. But that's my
Right.
inclination. What is your thought?
Um, I think I agree.
I
Like
guess
you
it
said,
only needs
it's
to get in there twice, right? To be the equivalent of a bolt, because you can shoot it
true.
on the way out.
Hmm.
Um,
Seal of fire, I'm probably sealing, or like shock or something. I'm just gonna use that to kill it.
yeah, I would agree
Um,
there.
but bolt is just that little bit more valuable. And the odds of a wall on turn two is pretty high, which, like you said, it just negates the fanatic.
Hmm.
So,
Though I mean, if you have multiple creatures in your draw, then like having the extra creature, like if it was like a jackal pup or something, then
yeah,
then
it depends what your turn two.
then a
Yeah,
wall like isn't as bad because then just the other creature gets through. But, uh,
if
I
I
see
just
I
create
see
it,
the bird die. I haven't seen the wait because the Mogfanac's still in play. So
did he block?
no,
No,
no. I think this is Ryan like preemptively like
I think
assuming.
this is gonna die.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
is he trying to bait him to not attack first and just like, oh, I should just put this in the yard, right?
No,
Hit him for the one.
he already attacked. So
Okay. Well, it's not tapped. I don't know.
well,
Okay, it's a seal of fire. There we go. See, I told you.
okay. I mean, those are
All
the
right.
little decisions that you have to make with Sly, and it can change the game because it could be like a point of difference can really change how things go.
Okay, so Mano's played some cards. Like he's played three cards already. So his hand is probably pretty low. So this curse scroll might be activated probably by turn four, I'm guessing. All
Okay.
right, survival with no other mana though, so you feel okay. But this is ball lightning time. Like, get in there. Ah, Sulfur Vortex. Come on. Yes, there we go.
Okay, the
Let's go, team.
vortex. All right.
And he's never like the white mana is never going to happen for like realist at this point. He's already got Fanatic on board. He's already got unless he draws City of Brass. But like otherwise, like the white spells are probably very unlikely to be able to do anything unless you said like he gets the hasty going. But now he's got this is a clock. We are clocking now.
Yeah, the only downside to a card like Sulfur Vortex is like if Ryan gets to his point where he gets the mountain and the anger, that him like Mano being at a lower life total than he would have been otherwise might put him at risk of like dying 1 turn earlier.
Yeah, to get like the 9 power like
Yeah, the
brainstorm
during
coming in or
tournament
something like
kind of,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. But I think Silver Vortex was like the perfect red card. It just is like it's wonderful. It says can't gain life, and it's a consistent source of damage. It was like everything that the red players dreamed it would be. I love it. It's one of my favorites. Again, if that's going around and pick one on a cube, I am might be playing mono red. You know what I mean? Just it's one of my faves. All right, we're still on turn three. Survival lines are available.
Yeah.
It might be as simple as just like survivaling for wall roots, or survivaling for
Yeah,
because if you survival for wall roots and then you can play it as a blocker and then you can still activate it to go get your squee. Because I'm assuming that he's got a bunch of creatures in hand.
mm-hmm. Iron Ranger is discarded. And yeah, Wall Roots was the first card that came to my mind.
Hmm.
Uh, Like Mano has 2 cards remaining in his hand, which
Yeah.
sometimes is a benefit if you have a curse scroll, that like having less cards.
Yep. I think it's pretty good actually.
Ryan is going to use. Did we see what he?
Yeah, I got the wall roots.
Maybe he's just yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's shortcutting a little. That's fine.
The Wall of Roots does have the option of using Survival on this turn, also has the option of then doing it again on Mano's turn, which I think I would be inclined to do.
Are we passing it?
Nope.
Okay.
So was not used on this turn.
That's fine.
Gonna stay at 5 toughness. If Mano had Ball Lightning, you have to block, right?
I think you. Yeah, definitely. And if he has a ball lightning, he should definitely be just throwing it right in there. Because you'll take that. Wall of Roots is one of his best ways to kind of advance mana and
Are you blocking a Mog Fanatic?
I mean, like, because you want to activate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So putting in a bolt range, at the end of the turn, kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
Or even shock range, because the fanatic can do its thing too, or curse scroll. Like, so I don't know.
I think you kind of have to though. But
Right? I mean, if it's chipping in for 3, basically, I'm curious what he does.
well, I mean, the one thing I would say is he didn't discard a creature on his turn, and I feel like the
Right.
natural line would be like discard a card, go get Squee. Then on Mano's turn would be to discard Squee, so that you have that extra card on your upkeep. And he doesn't have that option unless the Squee's just in his hand. So maybe activating it isn't as good. And it did look like he did block, right? So I didn't see.
That's my guess, because he didn't take any damage.
Yeah.
The second curse scroll. The second curse scroll is tough.
Yeah.
You never want the second one.
The insulation against the Octavia orangutan, at least.
It is, but he also probably wants a 4th mana at this point. But I think he's just down to like 1 card in hand. Is my guess.
Discarding a Dragoon.
Oh, pitching.
Well,
okay.
I mean, that makes sense that with the Sulfuric Vortex in play, so.
Yep. And he still doesn't have white mana. Like, the odds of getting white mana are very low.
Yeah, the only thing is, like, unless Ryan has a lot of tools, creatures in his hand, I feel like I would like to see the Wall of Roots used on his turn, and then would have gotten Squee, and then discarded the Squee on Mano's turn.
If he's going to get anger, it means his line is to get Granger as well.
Yep.
Unless he has Granger in hand already. But my guess is that this is going to be a all right, take 2. Yeah, okay, 13.
Is Mano playing the Japanese scrolls? That I can't tell from this resolution.
God, this would be so good.
But
Those
yeah,
so good.
with the 2 mana up, then maybe.
Yeah. This isn't the broken draft. It's so funny that they made that print error on that one card, like in a different language.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he had the foothill, so he doesn't even need the Granger. That's good. That's gonna be more mana efficient. I was counting something out here. He's got 5 mana potential.
Is there anything scary you can do with 3 mana? Like, if he discards the anger to go get something. Oh, I guess he does. He does have 4 access to 4 because of the Wall of Roots.
Yeah, having 5 mana. I mean, he wishes he had 6, so he could, go get Drain Charmer or something like that, right?
I mean, maybe you just put a Masticore into play.
I don't need that.
I mean that seems pretty good.
You have the mana to go search and get it and put it in, so
And
you probably have.
it could attack, and then the
Guts
next
is-
turn, like it's and that's a hard card for Mano to block, like because Ryan could just use excess mana. I think that would be, I mean, a line that Ryan could take.
Pitching anger. No, you're probably not attacking with Mastercore. You don't want to
I
take this
would.
race yet.
I
You would
would.
attack?
Yeah. There's a Sulfuric Vortex in play. Like, what does waiting
Oh,
do? He's getting
he
squee,
gets
so
three.
he's gonna
Okay.
play more of a card advantage game.
Maybe get another wall. I don't know, but I don't think the ground beaters are what's um. Huh. Another wall gives you another activation. I mean, birds. Okay.
Maybe his plan is to destroy the Sulfuric Vortex.
Yeah. Now he's got his white mana for his monk realist. Okay. Blue, green, green. Get rid of Bone Shredder. Yeah, Mano can't interact with this right now. It's not like you can, because the birds are hasty, so they're gonna be able to produce the white.
Does get the Monk Realist.
Okay. Like, well, this is what you said about the Dragoons, basically.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way to do it. Okay. It's destroyed. But you've already given up a Dragoons, but activating Dragoons once might be enough, so we'll see.
Well, and I would think that there is a Genesis in the.
Yeah, it probably came in. Okay. But we could see a barrage. What was that? What the heck? Oh, is that Incinerate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Miscut Incinerate, yes.
Yep.
Orion's down to 8. Mano also like if he just had another Sulfuric Vortex, that would be like really awkward for the line that Ryan's taking.
Yeah. I think that's might be what card he wants the most, because he's gonna have Dragoons next turn and gain that 5 life. It could be enough.
He also has the option, I mean, just to get rid of the birds, like with the Mog Fanatic, though, right?
I mean, he's in Fire Blast range. There
Oh.
it is. Yep. There we go.
Yeah, so that's
Incinerate Fanatic for the last one, and then Fire Blast for the win. I mean, that's twice we've seen it happen. Is that like the Fire Blast is such. Unless he's fanaticking the birds, that's a strategy. I don't think that's a winning one, but that's a strategy.
he just wants to play more Magic. No, I think
So,
all
yeah,
8 is going upstairs, and so
I would hope so. That's
yeah.
where I would put it.
Oh, there's a Spike Feeder in the hand, so yeah, the untap step is what Ryan needed, just with the Sulfuric Vortex gone. But
Yep.
Mano denies him that ability to get that extra turn. So
Yeah, Vortex is amazing.
all right, I'm gonna jump down and we can listen to the players a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, let them know to unmute us as well.
I don't know. I actually think maybe I punted. I should have. I knew you were going to get anger. Well, if you had a way to get a mountain, you're going to be able to get a realist and kill my thing. But I didn't know if I should have killed the Wall of Roots end of turn when I had 1 damage on it. I could have incinerated the Wall of Roots and slowed your whole turn down. I don't know if that's right or wrong.
Well, you knew you were going to top deck Fire Blast, so.
Well, I had Fire Blast, but I needed to draw any bolt or any 1 damage spell.
Well, what'd you draw that turn?
I drew the second. I had no cards in hand. I just had Fire Blast in my hand. So.
Oh, that's right. You had incinerated me. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had to incinerate. Right. Exactly. I'll show you my keep for that game. Actually, let me take out my sideboard stuff.
I put in the Tormod script.
I put 1 Krypton.
Okay. Yeah. I figured I knew you weren't bringing in all of them, but I knew you were bringing some of them.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm guessing this is he's showing us his game 2 keep.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear us? You guys turn this up?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah,
No, I can't. Sorry.
This was my game 2 keep on the draw.
Yep.
1 land.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it.
I think you have to keep it, right? I mean, I don't know.
That was just very unlucky. Adam Lemke said it wasn't even Lemke-ish. It was so bad.
Yeah, but again, then I got super lucky the other game, so whatever.
Yeah.
Can't really complain.
Variance. It's a thing.
Yeah. Actually, tell me if this is right. You people who play a lot of Sly.
That's what we were thinking.
Pups for this
We
shit.
thought maybe having the pups in on the play was reasonable,
Yeah.
but like
I was considering on the draw. I think this is pretty easy.
Yeah.
On the play, I almost went back to it, but like I don't know. I feel like he just has so many things these don't get through, and my plan is really just to burn him.
We
So
talked about cutting the price of
Price of
progresses as well.
I don't hate him. They're usually good for 2, and occasionally they can do 4 or heaven forbid 6, and he just dies immediately. And they're always maybe it's one of those things where you sideboard them out because he never wants to play as non-basics anyway. So it's kind of like having days in your deck and making them play around it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
But like, I'm surprised you didn't bring in the second pyrokinesis as well, because that kills birds and walls pretty well.
It does. I didn't want to choke on him, but maybe I don't know. What would you? I think these have to come in. I think 1 crypt is fine. I don't know. So you think maybe a second pyrokinesis over the 3rd pop? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought Pop looked, because he has 7 forests and like, it looked like a pretty.
He has a surprising amount of basics for a 5-color trade wind deck. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But we were thinking, as the play you did make with the Monk Realist, that like basically you had to make Birds of Paradise hasty to get the white mana for Dragoons and Realists.
Yeah. Which is what I do a lot of times with this deck. I intentionally don't play a lot of non-basics just because Price of Progress is such a backbreaker, and this matchup is so tight anyways, and you play it a lot. So yeah, there's a lot of times where Birds of Paradise is just a means to get whatever colored mana you need to until the next turn, and then you're able to start to go.
It's basically a Lotus Petal that costs you 1.
Correct.
Yeah.
That I could see that whole turn. The writing was on the wall. As soon as I knew he had access to the mountain, I knew all that was going to happen. The question was the turn before when he activates. I attack with the Mog. He blocks. He activates Survival. It goes to an 0/4. I could have incinerated the wall that turn.
Right.
I don't know if that's right or wrong. I drew another burn spell, so it looked great in retrospect, but it also gave him a ton more mana to do all of his shit with that turn, the next turn. So I don't know if he can do everything he wanted to do. He would have just missed the squee part of it, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So doesn't even cost him that much.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it was a good to see that, Ryan is just like, you just was hoping not to see Fire Blast, right? You're just, especially like in that game 1 where you think you're comfortable at 13 when you took that 2 from the Ball Lightning. And you're just like, I don't need a block. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah.
No, and I'm literally telling it. Like, you guys can't hear what we're saying. We're talking shit the whole time. Like, I'm telling them how comfortable I am. My chair is great. Life's good. I'm at such a high life. Told her it's just a matter of time. I'm going to put the squeeze on. All this stuff. And yeah, it's just casual fire blast, incinerate, bolt, whatever it was.
Yeah, a little 14 damage out of 4 cards.
Yeah.
And
no big deal. It's just a easy like Sunday morning,
Yeah, easy as Sunday morning. Nice, excellent. All right, well, I guess congrats, Mano. He's moving on to the elimination stages.
Did
right?
we lose him? Is he still there?
I think he might be there. We just don't have video feed. Maybe not. I don't know.
Mano, you there? We're congratulating you, sir.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Okay.
Oh, I think he concedes.
Is that that's how it went. Yeah. I mean, the match slip hasn't been turned in yet, so that's fine. You're the only person in the room, so you can fill it out however you want.
Win by default.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Congratulations. So this is the winner interview.
Yeah.
It was a hard-fought battle.
Oh, there he is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he just caught you filling out the match slip, Ron.
Yeah. I honestly wouldn't feel that bad about it.
Oh, the guy just ran out of the room. He had to go.
I had to go potty.
Nice.
But,
all right. Yeah, congratulations. So yeah, I think, assuming I did all the calculations correctly, I think that now means that you are in. I think you're in the 3rd seed actually, Mano. And
Please put me in the 4th seed, please. I beg you.
And then I think you kick out BK. I think is actually what happened. So
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, because on my graphics I had thought he had clinched it, and there was a nightmare scenario for BK that all the things that needed to go wrong did. So
is he in the channel? Or is it too early?
I haven't seen him chatting, so I don't know. He's gonna wake up and get bummed. So I'm sure he was probably messaging you, sending all his good energy vibes, wasn't he, Ryan?
I'm not gonna say anything about some of the messages I've received over the last few days. And some of the bribes.
How much time did you guys spend figuring out the decks? I'm sure you guys had a 2-hour powwow to maximize chances, right?
Zero. I hit my snooze alarm like 17 times today, and I was like, "Screw it, trade one."
Like,
Yeah.
no.
That's what I figured you would do. You're just gonna play screw it trade wind, and I don't.
No,
what would you rather
it
play
is.
trade
I
wind?
wanted this thing to win so bad, I guess.
What would you play trade? What would you rather play against, Sly or that black red deck?
I thought you were going to be on Black Red. I thought this was going to be the last hurrah. We're going to go down with the swords that we brought in, type of a thing. And
It kind of did, and in
deck.
retrospect, so for a while I thought I was going to get to play against Aaron Dix as the 4th seed had I won, and that's a bye. That's a bye. So I would have been on to the finals because he can't win. He just can't win against me. It's fine. But then I saw that I actually would be the 3 seed, and I have to play against Rich Shea, and I'm a bye for him. So this actually meant a whole lot less than I thought it would. Had I realized that, early, I would have probably just played black red and gone down with the swords, as you so eloquently put it.
Yeah.
But I do think my chances are a little better with Sly against you, just because you dirtle so much, and if I have anything like a mildly above average draw, you're usually just fucked.
I also wanted to dodecapod you so bad. Like,
You have a dodecapod?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck. Well, good thing I didn't play that deck. I didn't see
Man,
that.
you denied us that. You denied us that
know.
ability.
Oh my god.
Oh, even better, you can put on a stack with survival, right? Just put it in
Yeah.
your hand and instant.
Yeah, or Ravenous Rats.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I can with
Yeah.
rats. I can never do shit again. Yeah, wow. Good thing I didn't play the other deck, right? I thought I'll lose to dodecapod. Oh my god.
Amazing.
Yep.
Insane.
I get my own negators, my friend.
Yeah.
For free.
0 mana 5/5. That's like the best. I just did that thing with Fluffy and Ole about Sly. All you have to do is play a 5/5 and they can't win. And yours costs 0. So I guess you got me.
What's that card they were talking about? Tempting Worm or something?
Yeah.
Tempting Worm. 2 mana
Yeah.
5/5. They
Yeah,
get
like
to
it's
spew. They get to spew all their permanents.
But Sly doesn't have any. So
Congrats.
Right. Slides like ball, so,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Ball lightning go.
What do
Go,
you
go.
do? Put a vortex in play?
Yeah, exactly. Which is
Seal,
fine.
Seal of Fire.
Yeah.
Curse
Yeah,
Scroll.
Cool.
Good
All
times.
right, so just make me the 4th seed, Hoip, and we're all good. Thank you.
All right, cool. Well,
Alright.
congratulations. Yeah, I guess I'm just looking through chat to see if there's anything else that was here, but yeah, I don't see anything. But yeah, congratulations, and so we will see
Yes,
you.
Congratulations.
We'll have to talk about scheduling, but I think we're looking at trying to do the semifinals on Wednesday. I don't know if that will work for everyone's schedule, but we'll figure that out, and I'll make a post about when we're doing that because I think we're looking to have the finals on the normal scheduled Thursday time because Thanksgiving's coming up, and that makes things a lot more complicated. So I think we're looking to wrap things up this week. So stay tuned. I'll make posts about what we're going to be doing for our semifinals and finals. But yeah, players, do you have anything to add? I guess Ryan, do you want to do a sign off given this is your?
No, I did that the other night.
Oh, okay.
I was
All right.
effectively eliminated, I suppose.
Okay.
I just plan on enjoying it from the sidelines like everybody else, trolling some chat, and yeah, just enjoying it.
All right. Yeah.
Good.
And we'll get to see you more, Mano. So good luck in the top 4. So
Yeah, I'm fucked. I can't beat Rich. Even though I did beat him. It's funny. I did beat Rich, and I don't want to play that match, and I lost to Aaron, and I would play that for any amount of money at any point.
okay.
So
There we go.
funny how that
I
works
know
out.
the feeling.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
All
guys.
right.
All right.
Have a great day,
All right, bye,
everybody.
players.
Happy
It was a
Sunday.
pleasure. It was a pleasure,
All
Ryan.
Bye now. Likewise.
All right, Jared. Let's wrap things up. So we
good.
do see that we have Mano edging out Ryan, and that gives him the slot for the top 4. So I guess I don't have a graphic up, but so our top 4 players, we have Aaron Dix, we have Rich Shea, we have Tom Atelski, and now we have Bryan Manolakos. So we have our top 4 set for the Premodern Showdown Series 4, and we will be figuring out when we're going to play our semifinals. So the way the semifinals work are the bands are normal. They have their 3 decks and 1 gets banned. They pick 1 deck, and then they play a best of 5 match. So
Okay.
that is the one thing that's a little bit different.
I love best of 5 Magic.
Yep.
It just feels epic and awesome and just really good battles. You
Yeah.
know, if you lose 3-0, you just got stomped. You know, it
Yeah.
just happens. Where like I feel like it just reduces that variance just a little bit, and I think it's just so much more fun.
Yeah.
Just playing a big long game
And
matches like that.
the way we have our finals set up is different than all the matches. So players will still ban a deck as normal, and then they will bring their first selection, and they'll play a best of 3 match as normal we saw in the round robin. Then they'll play a second best of 3 match with the other unbanned decks. And if there's a 2-0 winner, then that's our champion. And if they split those matches, then they take the banned decks and they play against each other for a third and final best of 3 match. So
yeah, it's basically you're choosing what will be their third deck, which is interesting.
So a little bit different twist on things, but definitely a lot of Magic to be played, and we will be figuring out shortly who our champion is. And so it's still a lot of exciting PSS Magic up to coming, but I guess I want to thank Jared for stepping in the booth today and covering some red decks. I'm sure that you're excited to see the Mog Fanatics and the Jackal Pups on one side. So
certainly.
Yep. So thanks again, and thanks everyone who woke up. And then maybe we had more European viewers than we normally do, because I know a lot of times that they're just about getting ready for bed. So maybe we had them in the chat a little bit today. So
little Sunday afternoon, little luncheon and some Magic, you know, for them.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and until next time, take care.
Take care.